Hello, guys. So, war tensions rising across the world. Okay, so oil prices may fluctuate, and in few countries it is already fluctuating, and there is a global uncertainty everywhere. Okay, so but here's a question: so why does war have to affect the hotel industry, and what does the war have to do with the hotel industry? So more than you think, because wherever the world or whenever the world goes into the crisis, the first step what happens is the hotel industry it will get effect, and the the hotel industry it will feel the shock. So that is the direct industry which gets the highest impact. Okay, so when global tensions rise, so the travel between the countries or the travel between the states that drop down. Okay, so tourists they cancel their trips, corporate travels that slows down, and events and international conferences they get postponed. And for hotels it is a direct hit, in fact. Okay, so for hotels it is a direct because of reducing the number of tourists or reducing the tourism. But simultaneously when it comes to restaurants or something, the lower standalone restaurants or hotels or something, so they will also get the same effect. That happens internally, because internally also within the country people they reduce traveling, they reduce meetings, or they reduce some corporate meetings or gatherings or any other thing. Okay, so now because the hospitality don't sell any product. Okay, so hospitality it actually sells the moment, it actually sells the experience, it actually sells the travel, it actually sells the service. So we don't like, I mean, the complete hotel industry it never sells a product, it sells the everlasting experience. So that is the only reason whenever there is a pandemic or something, the entire world stops, and like nobody will look forward for experience or something. So that is the basic reason why the horeca segment gets affect immediately. Okay, so the same thing we also saw during COVID-19. So flights were grounded, and hotels they shut down, and restaurants they closed. So from luxury chains also to the small properties, individual properties. So the entire industry collapsed. Almost like overnight, things got collapsed. Okay, so that meant thousands of professionals, thousands of people, thousands of chefs or service people or managers or everyone who is depending directly or indirectly on hotels basically. So they all went into crisis, they all went into collapsed situations. Okay, so thousands of professionals they lost their jobs, that not only just the entry level staff, but even the experienced the chefs, well experienced for decades together. Okay, years together, general managers and then senior leaders, then corporates, and so many they lost their jobs during the covid. And people who spent decades building their careers, suddenly they all landed up with no income, because being a person from hospitality or horeca segment, we directly only depend on this particular segment of hotel for the income. There is no other source, because we sell our service, we sell our experience, we sell our product in the restaurant, we sell our time over there. So always, like whenever we are there for 9 hours, or and usually hotels there is no rule that your shift is only for 9 hours. Okay, so there are times where we have to stay for 10, 11, 12, or if there is no reliever who comes, so we have to, there are times we have to handle the next operations also. So now here the hoteliers we are selling the time. We are selling our experience, we are selling service to you. We are not selling any product like shirt or pant or a cup or plate or something. So we have to be attentive when a guest comes. So that is the reason there is no other scope for us to sit in front of laptops or mobile phones or devices and do some trading or any other option. We don't have that. Okay, we are depending on this. Okay, so now because of this pandemic situation in 2019, there are so many professionals who left this profession and moved into other profession. So this is the harsh truth. Many, they never returned into the industry. In fact, even I have tried myself to leave the industry in 2022. After the pandemic, I went on cruise. I came back from cruise. I have cleared all my debts in 2022. Before I was going on board, I was there with 10 lakhs of debts, literally debts. And then I went on board, I came back, I cleared all my debts. And then that minute I felt, okay, this is the time for me to change my domain, change my industry. But down the line, after 6 months, I couldn't do that, because we were practiced for long years, like decades of time we spent in this industry, in Horeca segment. And all of a sudden we were unable to move out of this domain, or this industry. Okay, so that is the harsh truth. In fact, I tried. Okay, so harsh truth, like hundreds of thousands of professionals, they left this industry. And uh, basically the hospitality professionals, we depend only and only on monthly salaries. We don't, like as I have told you, we never depend on some passive income. Even we have dreams, we want to try to generate our passive incomes or secondary source of incomes, but that really becomes difficult because of time concern. Okay, so if for example the monthly salaries they stop, for us it's like everything stops. EMIs, loans, family responsibilities, everything becomes a pressure, and it happens overnight. Okay, so there are times, and so many people, they sell their assets. There are times, because of these pandemic situations, hoteliers have to take emergency loans. And like there are times where people have shifted their jobs to other professions also. So this wasn't just about loss, it is a financial collapse. Okay, when the industry reopened, things have changed. When it happened during the COVID, to recover losses, companies and then managements or the investors, they started cutting down the cost. So now that minute they started depending on and they started hiring low skilled manpower. They started hiring staff at low salaries. They started hiring people who is multitasking. Okay, so one person doing multiple roles, that too in half the salary which they were drawing before pandemic. Okay, so now doing multiple tasks is very good, it is an excellent skill. But we have to understand, when an operation is operation, when for example if the goods are coming and a time office person's responsibility is to receive the goods, and because of this multitasking I have assigned something else to him, maybe turning on the generator or turning on and off, looking after the complete water system or any other things. For example, the minute the person goes there, for example the goods come, who is there to do the proper valuation or inspection or checking of the weights or any other thing? So here, directly or indirectly, the investors itself are losing the product, losing the quality, losing the proper system. Okay, so this particular cutting down the cost, it actually looks very smart. Okay, so for business people this looks like a smart business. Okay, but it is really a very big dangerous trap. When experienced professional they leave, so quality drops. When quality drops, guest satisfaction falls, and when it happens, automatically the revenue declines, and slowly the business will start shutting down. So it is the truth, it is the reality which most of the investors, they don't understand and they won't realize about. And they realize once the everything is done, everything is happened, and after the complete things are shut, for example, that minute they realize, oh, this is the mistake which I have done. Okay, so this should not happen now. With now at this situation also, with the global war tensions, it is rising again. We all know that. Okay, so fuel prices are unpredictable, and then especially the LPG prices of the which is delivered to the restaurants, for example. There is no proper channel, there is no proper way where the restaurants are not receiving the LPG. And even most of the restaurants and most of the horeca segment, they don't have own spaces or own land. They all depend on someone else commercial properties or somewhere where they take it on lease and then they run. And one of my close friends restaurant, it is recently 2 days before it got closed. The main reason behind that is unable to procure LPG for the restaurant, so it got shut down just 2 days before. So this thing happened because of the LPG crisis. Okay, so like, because now I read 10 cylinders, but where I'm getting only 1 or 2 cylinders, so that gives me a shortage, and simultaneously the price of the cylinder is also increased now. So this again becomes a more and more burden to the restaurant. Okay, so now this is the time for every investor or every management and organization to realize, don't depend on one mode of fuel. Diversify your kitchen, diversify your equipment. Okay, go electric, go with electrical equipment. And if there is any possibility, if you have your own space, try to go for wood fire, like which is altered or modified, or which is designed by yourself or any skillful chef. Okay, so diversify the dependency. So at least this is the time. If you do that, in further future, maybe in another 2 years or 3 years, next time whenever we get to the pandemic, for example, there will be no panic between the organization, there will be no panic between the people or staff who is working in the restaurants. Okay, so with the fuel prices, then your supply chain, then your travel patterns are getting affected because of the global war tensions. Okay, so now this creates a fear in the market. And once again, the complete hospitality, the horeca segment is again in risk. But like, for example, if travels stop, if for example tourism stops, uh, definitely it will directly show its effect onto the horeca segment. Okay, so I hope most of you who are watching this video are from the hotel industry, and you already feel this pain. Okay, so we have seen job cuts, we have seen salary reductions, and we have seen talented people, they leave the hotels or restaurants. Okay, so this is not just a business, it is the people's lives, it is about the people's family, people's the public's career. Okay, so, and more importantly, like, it is their entire family which is dependent on this particular shift or person. And so many, most of the investors now, they utilize this time and then they start negotiating with their salaries. Try to, like, it is the time to realize, when the price of oil is increasing, when the price of LPG is increasing, when the price of goods are increasing. Okay, so how can someone reduce or get down with their salaries and work for lesser salaries which they were taking before? Okay, so try to analyze all that. Okay, and work with the quality, work on to the proper system, work on to the proper structured system, because we have also discussed what might go wrong with unverified hirings or improper structured system. Okay, so the hospitality industry runs on people, it runs on passion, it runs on experience. If, for example, we replace skill with cost cutting, we don't just lose quality, so we lose the soul of the industry. Because being a chef, being a hotelier, we all know there is no South Indian restaurant with the authentic or proper South Indian food. There is no authenticity in the preparation, there is no authenticity in preparations, because 2 days before I have also seen a article from one of my uh, a known friend, who he's a good ustad who makes wonderful delicious Hyderabadi food, and he also appeared in MasterChef India. Okay, so he represented Hyderabad in that. Okay, and he was one of the contestant where I have also trained him. So he posted saying that today there is no authentic Hyderabadi food in any of the restaurants, and restaurants are not actually serving the authenticity. Okay, so why to lose the quality, why to lose the proper authenticity of the culture? It is the culture which we have to sell, it is the culture which we have to sell as an experience to the guest. And once you get down in that, and that's it, that is the starting of your collapsing of the business, collapsing of your investment, collapsing of your money. Okay, so again, like war or pandemics or crisis, the question is not survival, it's how we rebuild. So it is the time for us to rebuild the entire system, entire structure, because pandemics, they come, they go, but ethics, values, culture and authenticity, this is what which doesn't go anywhere, and it has to stay. And the entire world, entire business, it runs behind this four. Okay, so uh, this is the information which I would like to share with all you. And if you are like are really into the hotel industry and hotel business, and I hope so many hoteliers, they do watch this video. And if you really want to put any questionnaire or comment or something to discuss, do put it in the comment. Let me also go through that, read that, and then let us come into a discussion forum where we all together discuss on some useful topic which everybody which is useful to everyone, and which everyone should understand. This is your chef Ravi. Jai Hind.